Alright guys, this has got to be one of the coolest ways I've seen to open up a deadbolt. I just simply show it the palm of my hand. I don't even have to touch the lock, and it instantly unlocks.
Verification succeeded. Unlocked.
Now what it's doing, it actually has a special sensor that is reading the veins inside my hand, and that is how it's determining my unique identity. It doesn't use fingerprint, it doesn't use image a recognition of your face. Instead, this is actually one of the most secure ways to identify yourself and open up a lock, and this does it incredibly quickly. So what I'm going to show today is I'm going to unbox this. I'll show you what it comes in. I'll install it real quick on a little demo setup, and we'll set up the app, and we'll show you these features, and then I'll just give you my opinion on kind of how it works. And now, before I get too far, I do want to say this is Nate, and this is the Native Tater channel. And I appreciate it if you hit that like button on the video just down below, and if you also consider subscribing to my channel so you get more videos like this. Alright, so there is a really cool new feature coming to some smart locks, and this TCL smart lock is one of the first ones to come out with it. Now this is their D1 Pro, and the new feature is really that it reads the veins or your blood vessels inside of your hand rather than like a fingerprint or Face ID. You know, I've had fingerprint locks for many years, and they work pretty well. It does have a couple times when it doesn't work the best, and that's when your hands are dry or cracked, or if I'm out working and I kind of wear on them, or they're dirty. The fingerprint is less consistent at working. And then the Face ID is another one that is requires certain situations where you need to have like good lighting for it. And then the other thing is both the fingerprint and the Face ID have ways that they can be fooled, either with a picture or a little like a skin model of your thumb. So the vein one is actually sending out infrared light, and then it is reading the vein inside your hand, and so that one is much harder for people to replicate. Now it also has many other ways to unlock it, as well as the regular key. You have an app that it can do. You can connect it to your smart home, so you can be asking Google or something to unlock it with your voice. And then they also have the little RF cards that you can tap onto the lock itself. Now you might recognize that red TCL brand. Me personally, the way I recognize it is from their smart TVs, or their TVs that they've rolled out. They've been well recognized as a really great value with great features and stuff at a good price point. And so I think this is their first foray into the smart lock, so I'm excited to see how well it does. But TCL did send me this lock for this review, and I appreciate them helping sponsor the channel to do that. Alright, so on the top of it, it comes with a nice little blown up view of the assembly of the lock with all the different pieces of it. I do really like this card too. This has all of their QR codes for different videos. Now I did actually already look at these with my phone. I take my phone camera, and then it gives me a link. This link actually looks like it goes to a Google Drive link, so it's not even like a YouTube video link. It's directly onto a Google Drive. The videos are helpful. This one has installation guide, reset the settings, and add an admin code, add a new palm name, auto lock, add a password for the fob cards, other function settings. It actually goes through all that. They are very good, and they're very concise. They are pretty quick. I had to actually maybe pause them a little bit so I could follow along with doing steps in the app or whatnot. But it is nice that they do have kind of the big hitter step-by-step guides there in the packaging. The other thing I have to commend them on is most of my smart locks I've got do have a template card, but very rarely, or I don't even know if I have in the past at all, actually had one that's actually like a hardboard, say a cardboard piece of paper that is already cut out and is dotted for different folding actions. So this is a much higher quality template if you actually need it. Now in the US, most of the time I don't need it, but maybe I'm always doing retrofits. But this tells you how you need to mortise out the door and the hole and get all that spacing correct if you had a new panel that you had to do. So kind of props that is better than I've seen on a lot of other products here. Now, and then they do give you this kind of a quick, this is actually, I think, in some ways similar to the video guide. This is just in text, so you can follow the little process tree here to know how to change these different key settings. And then the manual is actually helpful as well, that it has information and pictures of how you go to it. You know, some of these products I get, sometimes they literally will have a QR code, or just says download the app and learn it from there. It doesn't give you anything in paper. So I appreciate that they do actually give you some paper products here to work with. And then in the box you can see it is packaged nicely with foam, so it's protected. All right, so in the box we have, obviously the main one is the outdoor unit. This is the one that has the keypad on it. It obviously has a old physical key. It has the RF card, touch sensor. It has the palm sensor that's built into here. So everything's kind of on this outdoor unit as far as the smarts of the lock goes. And then on the inside, it does have this removable plastic bezel that this is for the, I would say more standard or more common, newer hole size. It's the larger hole size. If you have the smaller hole size in your door, you can replace it out with this smaller one that they include. And now this guy is mostly all metal and pretty robust. The only thing that's plastic is the little bezel. Everything else appears to be metal or aluminum or brass materials there. The indoor unit is mostly plastic here, and that's because it's really not any part of the security for the door. It really just holds the battery compartment that you can slide up right here. This gives you access to the lithium-ion battery, which is really nice that it has long capacity there. I'll talk about how long it lasts here in a little bit. But then that fits into there, and then obviously you get your unlock and lock slider there, or turn knob there, and then this gets held to the door with a metal bracket. So the metal bracket here is what goes on the inside of the door, and it attaches with two screws to the outdoor unit. So that's kind of your security means there. So the battery is a 5 volt 2 amp type. It is 7800 milliamp hours, and they say it can give up to 8 months of battery life. That's with it unlocking or locking 10 times a day. So they do say cold weather will make it worse. And obviously, if you use it more often than 10 times a day, it will make it worse. But I fully expect to get 6 months of life out of this battery, if not better. So that's kind of cool, and I like that better than the AA batteries. All right, so the other piece is obviously the deadbolt itself. Now, most of these, if you haven't installed them before, they have typically a twist action that will do the two different back spacings for the door. So you can just take this unit here and twist it, and then that will slide it out. Typically for packaging, they have it scrunched in. So always check for that. And then, of course, you can use that template card if you want to, and it can measure your back spacing if you're not sure once you get your old lock off. Now, it also includes this little, cover for the door jamb side, and then you get, of course, your latch plate. You get your keys. So it looks like they give you 2 metal keys. They give you 2 of the RFID cards there that you tap on the outside that locks and unlocks the lock for you. Then obviously you get your screws and hardware here. So that's everything. So let's get it installed now. I should only need a screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver technically, to put it all together. I'm going to use, as often as I can, a power screwdriver because that makes it a lot quicker, but it should be fairly simple to install. Alright, so for the install, I'm cheating and I'm going to stay on my butt here and install it on this little demo thing that I have set up with just some scrap wood. But I've set it up for the standard US lock setup. So I'm going to follow the instructions here, and the first one is to place the deadbolt in there, and you do want to pay attention. There is a up arrow indicator that you want to have pointing up, not surprisingly, and then make sure it all fits in there like this one does. Alright, so for the outdoor unit, that's the next step. Once I have this deadbolt actually installed, I want to take the little lever arm that goes through the latch here and make sure it's vertical so that it's lined up to go in here. And then the cable, I want to make sure is out of the way. It goes underneath the deadbolt here, and then that one's going to get fed in onto the inside, and it's going to go through kind of the little awkward shaped hole there underneath this little rod. So let's go ahead and get that slid in and installed. Alright, so you can see that we have these all three things or four things really lined up. We have the rod, and then we have the two screw holes that stick out there through the deadbolt, and then we have the wiring for the cabling. So now we just want to make sure that we have this one pointed the correct way here, and we'll thread the wire through it, and then that hole. Now they give you two sets of screws that go through here that screw from the inside into the outside. That's based off the thickness of your door. So just pay attention to that, because if they're too long, then they won't sink all the way down, and obviously if they're too short, they won't connect it. Alright, so I think my door is on the narrower side, so we can actually get away with the shorter screws. Still is going to have plenty of thread in there on mine. Now, before you shrink it all the way down, you do want to check it and make sure that it is vertical. Obviously, if this is cockeyed, then on your inside door panel, it will also look crooked, because it will be crooked. So for both the inside and outside, I check it and I make sure that it looks good before you tighten it down all the way and hold it in place. Alright, so now with the inside unit, we can go ahead and plug it in. Now, you could take off this tape. I'm going to avoid taking off the tape. One, because it's just a temporary setup. But two, I would actually, even if I was installing on a door right now, I would probably wait to do that to see if I need it, because it has two screw attachments right here. So I'm going to think that it maybe doesn't need it. Most of the other locks I've dealt with do not have that extra 3M tape, so probably optional to use it. Now, you do want to make sure that you line up your wiring connector correctly, and then snap it into place all the way. And then to slide it on, to get that little lever rod set up, you do need to have it in the upright unlocked position here. And then you want to just kind of tuck the wire in to the hole as you slide the inside panel on. Alright, so that slide on pretty easy, and then I can just test that thumb turn there to make sure that it locks and unlocks easily before I put in my screws. Alright, so it looks like for this screw you do have to use a screwdriver, just because it's too small of a hole to get the power bit through. So I can tighten that one down easily, and then I can put the two that are up high in as well. Alright, so for me that looks pretty snug and tight. I don't see a lot of deflection there, and they do have these rubber seals on each of these that should help both seal it from weather, as well as just keep that gap. If there's any unevenness in the door, it would kind of fill it in. Alright, so they tell me to charge it for up to 6 hours, but I don't have the patience for that, so for this test I'm just going to go ahead and use it as it is. But I'm going to plug it in here and power this guy up. And we're actually going to leave the cover off, because I think we have to press this button in here, little tiny button down there below the battery. That's like a setup button to press. So I think first I need to set up a admin password. So right now I think any key on the device will work. Alright, so once I snapped that battery in, it started doing setup and lock, and I think this one automatically determines the direction of the lock. Some of the other ones you have to tell it if it's a left opening door or right opening door. This one automatically just lock the door for me. Unlocks. That obviously worked. Now, right now, let me take off this plastic there. Any keypad works, so if I can just type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think. Yeah, so I can type in any keypad and hit unlock, and I can do the same thing for lock. So I need to set up an admin password so I get rid of that, where it's just anyone can open the door right now. Alright, so we just press this setup button real fast.
Please set the administrator password. Press the unlock button to confirm.
Alright.
Password is too short. Input error. Please input again. Operation succeeded. Add credentials, press 1. Delete credentials, press 2. Modify administrator's password, press 3. Settings, press 4. Network settings, press 5. Press the lock button to go back.
Alright, so it got set up. I actually don't like one thing about it, and it looks like this admin password has to be 6 to 8 digits long. I like being as low as 4 digits, so just something to know that that is one limitation. Now, but you can make user codes. I think the user codes perhaps can be shorter, but at least the admin password has to be the longer one. So that is set now. So I have an admin password. Then I can also use just the keypad, and there's a little process tree here that shows you how you can add users and other settings in here, volume and does it auto lock or unlock. You can do that all on the lock itself. You don't have to use an app at all if you don't want to. But I'm going to get the app set up and see what I can do inside the app. Alright, so they tell you to go to the Google Play Store or the App Store and download the Smart Life app. They do have a QR code that you can scan to get that directly. But I think this is actually the same brand or communication as a similar app I already have. So I'm going to actually try to add it in here. I have another lock that I already use for that. So I need to go in here and check how to do that. Alright, so I did look into it. I did actually have to scan the QR code to understand the instructions to activate the lock to be working with the app. So to do that, I do have to press this setting button again on the back side.
Please input the administrator password. Press the unlock button to confirm.
So I'm going to add my admin password.
Add credentials, press
I'm
1.
going to press
Delete
the unlock.
credentials, press 2.
And now I press number
Modify
5.
administrator's password, press 3. Settings, press 4. Network settings, press 5. Press the lock button to go back.
So I want to press 5, which is network settings.
Press the unlock button to confirm. Network configuration in progress.
Alright. So now I am scanning the device, and obviously it found it right there. So D1 Pro. So that was quick, and now I have to put in my Wi-Fi information. This is for my home Wi-Fi, and I did not verify, but most of these are 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi only. So for me, I split my Wi-Fi, so I want to connect to my 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. Alright, so it looks like it wants your device to be connected to that 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, so I had to switch from my 5 gigahertz to my 2.4 gigahertz, and we hit next after we put in the password. Now it's going to be talking from my tablet to the lock itself. You can see the red blinking light, and right now I think what it's talking over is
Connection succeeded. Add credentials, press 1. Delete credentials, press 2. Modify administrator's password, press 3. Settings, press 4. Network settings, press 5. Press the lock button to go back.
Alright, so right now the tablet was connecting via Bluetooth, and then now this guy should be connecting to my Wi-Fi now. Alright, and it looks like they have a update, so I'm going to go ahead and update that just to get more stability. It's probably always a good thing to do. Alright, so I think I want to go in here based on what I'm reading and turn off the dormant switch. And I think it's a little bit hard to understand the language here, but I think when the dormant switch is off, that means that it is enabling more features, but it drains the battery more. So I think that's what I'm doing, is I'm telling it to stay awake so I get more features in the app so I can play around with it. Okay, so I've been messing with it. Now, it does have a little bit of a annoying setting in the app itself, and that is by default, it has the dormant switch there, where it goes dormant, it looks like between, I think the default was 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Now, it wakes up whenever you activate something on the lock, but I don't think you can actually wake it up as easily in the app. You really need something to activate it at the door itself. And this app doesn't appear to actually be updating that. It's stuck in the synchronizing even after restarting and depowering the lock and redoing the app and everything. So it just makes changing some settings a little bit more difficult. But we can see here, I can go to my member management here, and you can see there underneath the administrator that you can see I have a phone, which is the app. There's a keypad, that's my main keypad that I've added. But now I can also add in something like a door card right here. So it comes with two of these little radio frequency cards here. So let me add one of these. And it was in hibernated, so this is where I gotta wake it up, and then I should be able to do something here once it's woken up. So
Please swipe your card.
take this card.
Add succeeded. Number 100.
There we go. So now that card is active, and I can call it a name if I want to. and that can be assigned different things. So this one, I assigned it to me, but I could assign it to another user, and then you can control them. So, here's under administrator, but let's say I wanted to add it as a guest, then I could do that now. But before I show you that, I'm going to do the palm vein, which is the fourth feature here in the app to add. So I'm going to do palm vein. I got to wake this thing up again. This is where the dormant is a little bit annoying standpoint. All right.
Please place your palm 10 centimeters in front of the. Please keep your posture. Add succeeded. Number 050.
Okay, and this is kind of interesting because it looks like if you show them this palm vein, then it will inform a relative or friend that you have hijacking. So this would be like, I guess if you were hijacked, you always show your right hand, normally get in, but if you were to show your left hand, it would send a app notification to a family or friend that you called out. Looks like by app notification, so not exactly like a emergency call, but that's kind of a neat concept there. So I did my right hand. Well, I don't want to do the reminder, so that's why it didn't like me. But so now I should be able to come up to it, put my hand there.
Unlocked.
There we go. Now it's already unlocked, so it didn't do anything. But if I lock it,
Locked.
and then we can go up to it.
Verification succeeded. Unlocked.
That's pretty quick. So I must say that's quick, and then you can see that I get notified because I told it to notify me if someone opens or closes the door. So that's pretty cool. I must say, not having to touch the lock, it automatically sensed even when it was dormant that when I came up to it that there's a hand there, and it scans my vein and then opens it up. All right, so let's show that again. I have it locked now. I take my hand, bring it up to right in front of it.
Verification succeeded. Unlocked.
Before I can even say what I'm doing, it already has the door unlocked. So that is impressively quick, way quicker than I've seen with other ones, from obviously way faster than typing in a code or getting a manual key out. And it's at least as fast as putting this up there. But you don't have to carry something around. So I always have my hand on me, hopefully, and that's probably my new favorite way to unlock a door. Okay, and then if you wanted to add more members, family members, you wanted to add guests or a special access person, call it housekeeper, dog walker, whatever you needed to give access, you can create them here. You do need a email address that they have an account for them, and then they'll get the app, and that's how they'll be able to unlock things that way. If you wanted to just have like a guest account that is always there, you could set that up, and you could assign a PIN code and even palms. You could have multiple people's palms all assigned to that. That would be one option. I think it handles like up to 50 palms or something. So that would be one catch-all. The other thing, if you wanted just a temporary passcode or access, then you can on the main page just do temporary. So on this one, you can set up one 6 to 8 digits, and then you can give it a effective time and or when it's not effective. So you can have like a blackout period, and then you can also have this be a repeated one. So if every Tuesday someone comes in, you could have a temporary password set up for that period. Now if we look in here further in the top right, the little pencil icon, some settings, I might have to wake it up here. No, but looks like it'll let me do this still. So in here you can do a few things. Obviously this Tuya app has some automation capability, so you can actually, if you had more devices, more things, sensors and whatnot, lights, you could have that run an automation that, let's say when that door unlocks, it turns on a light that's attached to this app. Or you can have your own ecosystem. In fact, you can have Google or Alexa third-party control here, so you can link this app to those features, and then that, if I click the Google Assistant here, it's going to ask me to log in to Google, and this is going to link those accounts, and then I would be able to use my voice commands to say open the front door or unlock the front door, and it would do that kind of stuff with the Google or the Alexa device. And then it does have this message notification settings. This is actually kind of like a paid feature where if you wanted text messages or whatnot, then you could pay to get notified about things. But if you want just a push notification from the app, that works for free. Okay, and then if you look here into the log, we can look at this log, and this shows you, you can see there that my Nate right hand unlocked. It tells you what time. That's 12:27 a.m. That's why 00 is all 24-hour clock. So this is when you can look back and see your history. If you had different users obviously set up, you can see what they did and when they opened or closed the door. So this app, I would say, has all of the basic features I would expect. It's a little bit less user friendly than I would prefer. It does work. I do have this one hiccup or software bug here where it doesn't appear I can make it not be dormant at night right now. So that's something I don't like about it. But my plan would be to probably tie this into my rest of my smart home, which is ran with Home Assistant. So that's probably how I would actually use it and not actually use this app. But the app does have basically everything I would kind of expect it to do here. So from that standpoint, I'm happy with it. It was fairly easy to set up. It was quick to add. So not a lot of complaints with that. So certainly if you enjoyed this do consider using my referral link down below to purchase the unit. And then of course if you have any questions specifically about what I did here or other thoughts of usages or issues there, please put them in the comments down below. I do read those comments and then I do try to answer them. So thank you everyone for watching, and then we'll catch you next time.